Hello and welcome back to Epic Quotes, the channel that brings you closer to the lives of history's greatest thinkers and their timeless wisdom. Today, we are diving deep into the extraordinary life of a man whose philosophy changed the world. A man who not only fought for India's freedom from British colonial rule, but also showed the world the power of peace, truth, and non-violence. This is the story of Mahatma Gandhi, the father of modern India, whose words and actions continue to inspire millions around the globe. Stay with us as we explore Gandhi's life, his struggles, and the epic lessons we can learn from him. Mahatma Gandhi, born on October 2, 1869, in the coastal town of Porbandar in Gujarat, India, was raised in a deeply religious Hindu family. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was a respected local official, and his mother, Putlibai, was a woman of great spiritual strength. From her, Gandhi inherited a sense of devotion, compassion, and an unwavering belief in non-violence philosophy. Growing up, Gandhi was a shy and introspective child. However, he was deeply influenced by the religious texts of the Bhagavad Gita, which emphasized the importance of truth and nonviolence. As a teenager, Gandhi struggled with self-doubt, but through a commitment to living an honest life, he gradually overcame these internal challenges. At 18, he traveled to London to study law, a turning point that exposed him to new ideas, international legal principles, and a broader understanding of the world. It was in London that Gandhi first encountered the moral dilemmas of colonialism and began to see how deeply ingrained injustices were in the world. It was here, amidst the duality of British ideals of justice and the reality of colonial oppression, that Gandhi began forming the principles that would guide his life, a commitment to truth, Ahimsa. In 1893, after finishing his legal studies, Gandhi traveled to South Africa to work as a lawyer. What started as a business trip soon became a life-changing experience. Gandhi, who had been raised in a relatively privileged environment, was now confronted with the harsh realities of racial discrimination. As an Indian, he was subjected to deeply racist policies, and one night, after being thrown off a train for sitting in a first-class compartment reserved for whites, Gandhi realized that he could no longer remain silent in the face of injustice. Instead of accepting this discrimination, Gandhi decided to fight back. Not with violence, but with a new method of resistance he would call Satyagraha, meaning truth force. It was the idea that the power of truth, when wielded through non-violent resistance, could overcome oppression. His first victory in South Africa came after he led a campaign that won the rights of the Indian community to be treated with equality and dignity. Gandhi realized that non-violent protest was not only possible, but incredibly powerful. This victory set the stage for the next phase of Gandhi's life. He returned to India in 1915 with a new sense of purpose, determined to lead his country towards freedom, through the very same principles of non-violence and truth that had worked in South Africa. Upon his return to India in 1915, Gandhi found a country in the midst of hardship. The British Empire, which ruled India with an iron fist, had imposed harsh taxes, economic policies, and a brutal system of social division. Yet, despite this oppression, the Indian people were not entirely passive. They were yearning for freedom. At first, Gandhi sought to unite the Indian people in a way that transcended the divisions of caste, religion, and region. He understood that for India to achieve true independence, it needed to be united, and that unity could only come through a commitment to nonviolence and shared sacrifice. One of his first major movements in India was the Champaran movement in 1917, where he fought for the rights of indigo farmers who were being exploited by British landowners. His success in Champaran established him as a leader and began his role as the central figure in India's independence movement. By 1919, Gandhi launched the non-cooperation movement, calling on Indians to boycott British goods, schools, and institutions. His call to refuse cooperation with the British was met with widespread enthusiasm. However, it also resulted in violent clashes, and Gandhi, devastated by the violence, withdrew the movement, reaffirming his commitment to nonviolence. Despite the setbacks, Gandhi's resolve never wavered. In 1930, he led one of the most significant acts of civil disobedience in history, the Salt March. The British had imposed a monopoly on salt production, forcing Indians to buy salt from them. Gandhi decided to march 240 miles to the coastal town of Dandi to make his own salt, directly defying British authority. The Salt March captured the imagination of the Indian people and the attention of the international community. It showed that peaceful resistance could bring down even the most powerful of empires. The march became a symbol of India's fight for freedom. As the years passed, Gandhi's methods of peaceful resistance inspired millions, but the road to independence was far from smooth. The Quit India movement of 1942, demanding an immediate end to British rule, was another crucial turning point. Despite being arrested, Gandhi's calls for a non-violent, unconditional withdrawal of the British from India echoed throughout the world. Gandhi's philosophy was rooted in his belief in truth, Satya, non-violence, Ahimsa, and self-reliance, Swadesh. These were not just political tactics, they were his way of life. Gandhi's ultimate belief was that personal integrity and social justice could not be separated. His concept of truth was radical. He believed that truth was not merely telling what happened, but living authentically and consistently in harmony with the world around you. He also believed in self-reliance, not just for individuals, but for nations. By urging Indians to spin their own cloth, Gandhi symbolized the idea that true independence came from economic and social self-sufficiency, not dependence on foreign powers. Gandhi's influence extended far beyond India. His methods inspired leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who led the American civil rights movement using non-violent methods. Nelson Mandela also drew inspiration from Gandhi's fight for freedom, using similar tactics in the struggle against apartheid in South Africa. Mahatma Gandhi's life teaches us that the path to true freedom is not through violence or hatred, but through love, truth, and non-violence. His commitment to peace, even in the face of adversity, serves as a guiding light.